The Every Point Sports Podcast featuring Greg and Jack starts right now.
Oh, welcome in everyone to the Every Point Sports Podcast. I am Jack Stash from Fantasy Farm Sports. We've got Greg Kratz, the OldGamerGK Entertainment with us. How are we feeling, Greg?
Oh, as always, we're doing great on Sundays when we are here. A lot to talk about, a lot of news. We missed you guys the last couple weeks. So, we have a bit to talk about.
Yeah, there's a little bit to go through. We are in the middle. We're almost at the end. Well, let's talk about the NBA playoffs, right?
Yes.
We the last time I think we all met together, we were firing Thibodeau because he couldn't beat the Celtics. That game's over. But
Golden
he's
State
now
still had hope.
Yeah, there were pie in the sky
Curry got
hopes.
hurt. Curry. I strongly believe that would have been a different series if Curry was in there, but we'll never know. T-Wolves are a good team. And since we're talking about the T-Wolves, real quick, why don't we talk about last night's game real quick? Jack and I have a little discussion before we get on, and I'm going to let him take the floor because he had a great point before we got on. So, Jack, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you were telling me?
All right, OKC's up 2-0, right? They were up 2-0, now it's 2-1. Right, and there's this huge conversation on Twitter about the SGA looks for fouls. They call him the foul thief or the foul hunter, right? Anyway, that's what he does, and he gets the line. Listen, he dominates the game. He's obviously the league MVP, right? He's been voted in, but he does hunt arms and hands a little bit more than you would like a superstar to do, right? You just kind of want your superstar to look dominant and do all the right things, but he does hunt for arms and stuff like that. I thought it was really interesting the other night watching the beginning of the game. OKC was up, and it was just it was either accidental or just the follow through was too much, but there was a jump ball. OKC player comes through too far with his hands, hits the ref in the nose. Now, by the way, this is the same referee who was involved with the gambling referee, Donahue, I believe it was, Greg.
Yes, it was.
So he was on the same staff with Donahue. Donahue says that he had parts in it. This guy claims to have no parts in it. I forget his name. Forgive me for that. But he was the one who got bopped in the nose the other day. And as I see him, holding his nose and trying to fix some stuff and stop from bleeding, the first thing I said was, well, we're probably not going to get too many whistles today, because if you blow the whistle, right, with your mouth, your whole apparatus kind of fills with air. So the guy who hunts whistles is not going to be able to slow down the game in certain spots where he wants to. Well, what do you know? He wasn't able to because this guy did not blow the whistles. Obviously, maybe he would want to. Get that spread closer, or get the over under down, or however he controls games at certain spots. And I'm not saying he does it now or doesn't do it now, but I'm just saying things are this is a little interesting, and I'm into interesting, right? Absolute, as I am, absolute blowout, absolute manhandling. And no one thinks about this little guy who had, an apparatus issue here and didn't blow as many whistles to get the game slowed down or tightened up or whatever. And again, I am speculating that he does it. I have to speculate that he does it. He was on the same crew that Donahue used to run. So why wouldn't I think that this guy could have a part in moving games in certain directions?
Oh, absolutely.
I am.
You have to be very naive to think otherwise.
So the first game, he can't get the whistle going whenever he wants by accident, right? All of a sudden, it opens up for the Wolves. And I want the viewer to pay attention, because if you think a bopped or busted or whatever nose goes away overnight, it does not.
No.
In fact, he's going to think it's in great shape. And the first time he goes the ball, oh, yeah, and we can't slow it down again.
Mhm.
By the way, more physical team is OKC or is the Wolves.
It's the Wolves.
The
Yeah, they
Wolves.
were so physical last year. I think they might be the I want to say second most physical team in the NBA behind the Knicks.
Julius Randle he came from the Knicks. Julius Randle
Oh,
will
yeah.
knock your face off. In fact, I
I
still
think
don't understand the trade. I don't understand the trade.
I don't either, but I think it's kind of funny how they were dogging Julius Randle the game before. He had I think 12 points or something like that, not even. Didn't have a good game, and he came out on fire this game. So he really stepped up to the plate. But yeah, I totally agree. I think the T-Wolves are I think they're second most physical team in the NBA. Knicks are still in it. So they're still the most physical in my book. I mean, look what they did with it. I mean, since we're on it, look what they did with the Celtics.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in Boston might have
and let's not gloss over that. I understand the Knicks was firmly in control in that series while Tatum was still there. But if Tatum didn't get hurt, that could have went a different direction. So I don't want to discount that.
Yeah, I get it.
Okay. All right.
No, I totally understand. But let's not pretend like Joe Frazier didn't get Muhammad Ali when he was at his peak. Joe got him. I mean, he hit him on the ball. I mean, that whole fight, you were just like this. Jeez, right? Looking at your ticket that said Ali on it, throwing it to the ground. I mean, it was bad. The more physical guy, the guy who wants it more, the guy who needs it more, usually goes out and gets it. This OKC team is nice. They're a great story. I kind of think this Wolves team is going to get them.
Yeah, I am praying. Keep my fingers crossed that we get a Knicks T-Wolves.
Oh my God!
The trade alone, the underlying
Towns just
right.
Towns
for Randall. Now you're going against each other in the finals.
It's even worse than that. It wasn't just Towns for Randall. We sent DiVincenzo too.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, but those are the two names that are really
that's a hell of a sweetener, a guy that can give you 15 behind the 3-point line.
Yeah.
I mean, why are we giving you extra?
Yeah.
Right, we're giving you extra for a guy that's just as good as the guy we're getting. I mean, I look, Towns and Randall are very close. And to me, Julius Randle, you're old school basketball. Julius Randle reminds me of Zach Randolph.
Mm-hmm.
He'll beat the hell out of you. And you know what? Every once in a while, he'll surprise you with a couple threes. You're like, this guy out here now.
Mm-hmm.
But you're always going to get an elbow. Towns is great, maybe a much better shooter, more talented, probably. But you're not always going to get those elbows. And I think the elbows could matter.
No, but that's what the Knicks needed, though. They had those elbows already. They needed that little extra scorer, I think, which I was fine with the trade. I really was. So, and it seems to be working out for both teams.
Yeah, it's
very rare does a trade work out for both teams. This is one that is. I mean, just look at the. Well, we'll find out more. All right. Yeah, we have been off for a while, and this just popped in my head. I was just thinking about, how I just said trades don't always work out. And I was going to throw the Anthony Davis trade in there. That just happened this year. And while we're on that subject.
That works out.
How the hell does this trade happen? All right. They send a generational player over to the Lakers. They get a guy that is very injury prone back. Very good player. Awesome player, but not generational like Jokic is. And then all of a sudden you end up with the first pick in the NBA draft.
Well, here's where it's all interesting.
Huh.
And I'm into interesting. There were many, not the ESPN publications, but there were publications out there that are credit worthy, coming out going, yeah, everyone knows. Everyone in the South knows that Dallas is just trying to tank their season to get below a certain revenue so that they could be the team in Vegas. This wasn't. I read it a bunch of times.
Listen, I told you this when the trade went through.
I know.
I told you there was rumblings because they have ties in Vegas.
But Cuban got mad. Cuban got mad, and then he got quiet. That's another little rumbling. He got mad about it, and then he got quiet. And by the way, the thing about foreign players is you do want to get a little ahead of them, right? Because they're not going to change for you. They
Mhm.
are what they are. The New York Knicks looked like absolute morons when they got rid of Kristaps Porzingis. How they
Mhm.
looking now, right? Phil Jackson was right. We brought him in. He was okay. He did have underlying issues outside the court that kind of stayed underneath the covers so that they can trade him. I
Mhm.
think Luka's got an attitude.
Mhm.
I do think Luka likes to go out, not so much maybe party, but Luka likes to have his drinks. You know that. He has them in
Mhm.
the locker room. Okay, fine. But if we're not going to be able to tame him or tell him what to do, and we're making this big move anyway, we're going to have to move him. I don't think that was a mistake. I don't think it was happenstance. I think it was done perfectly, orchestrated correctly, and now they're going to take that flag hit.
Yeah. I just think it's kind of crazy how they ended up with the first pick after trading him away.
Oh, so I want to tell you a story about that. Let me tell you a story. You can't manipulate a draft, right? You can't. There's no way to
Yep.
manipulate. There's no way to do it. Except I'm in the middle of watching Better Call Saul right now. And what Saul wanted to do, this is not a nice thing that he did, and he reconciled afterwards. In case you guys are watching the show, it's many moons ago. It's a spinoff of Breaking Bad. Okay, but what Saul did was he wanted this lady to win at bingo. He was a bingo caller. He wanted her to win so that her friends would get mad at her so that she would settle the court hearing that he was going to get 10% from. Follow me? Okay.
Mhm.
So, geez, how am I going to make sure that she wins? Well, there's a little metal piece that sucks up the little bingo things, right? And what
Mhm.
he did was he put a pinhole in one of the balls and painted a little bit of mercury on it so that the thing would be attracted to it yet not gain weight.
Mhm.
And what he did, he painted all those balls, all the ones that would win on her tickets. So don't tell me you cannot manipulate balls
Oh,
to go
absolutely.
up
Yes.
into the thing. New York Knicks getting Patrick Ewing and the Dallas Mavericks having what, a 1.9% chance. Come on.
Yeah.
They're going to Vegas. We want them to have that flag kid, and you better call Saul to everybody. That's what you did.
And I'd even go as far as them going to Vegas. I want as far as saying they wanted somebody to replace LeBron James at the Lakers as a superstar. Because as long as the Lakers are good, they are a name. They are business. They are money-making machine for the NBA. So you bring in another superstar. LeBron's going to be done soon. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to throw you guys the first pick in the NBA draft. Just to sweeten the deal a little bit.
Yeah.
But we need to make sure the Lakers are viable still for the next 5 to 10 years. We need to make sure that they're still good. People are still talking about them. But we'll hook you up on the back end of this. We'll give you Anthony Davis, but we'll hook you up on the back end.
Yeah, even though they didn't even, that's not even their name. It's the Minneapolis Lakers, and they couldn't even come up with
Yeah.
their own name when they were shifted over to Los Angeles. Don't even get me started with the theft that happens out there. But yeah, I think they better call Saul to everybody and paint it a little bit, and it's got sucked up because it'd be
Yep.
attracted to it over any of the other ping pong balls. Let's not
Either
pretend.
one of our theories is very viable. It's not out of the realm of the possibility. Either one of our theories on this.
I think both of them work.
You know?
Right? They did the deal on the side. How are you going to
Yep.
guarantee us? They did show the thing with the ping pong balls. Okay, if you do that, then we're good. We moved all the pieces. Everybody, and the general manager for Dallas, didn't blink.
How else can you explain how you do this trade straight up?
He looked straight at the meeting. He goes, "We got the guy we wanted."
Yeah. But you could have had a king's ransom. You could have had a player plus draft picks for the next 5 years
Because
for this guy.
I think that management company that the part of the conglomerate that owns the Mavericks, I think they were paid, and that general manager was probably paid handsomely on the side.
They're this is how both of our theories work. On the back end, they were promised the first pick in an NBA draft. And listen, we know there's rumblings you guys would like to go to Vegas. We'll make that happen for you at some point.
Yeah.
You guys need to trade this guy to the Lakers.
Yeah.
Okay.
You need to make the trade. We'll take care of your family over here.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll take care of your family over here. Nico, Nico, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Right? We'll take care of your
He ran
family over here.
Nike for years. Ran Nike for
Oh,
years.
I wonder how they know each other.
Yeah.
I'm just saying,
So
like,
yeah,
that's
listen,
exactly what happened.
both of our theories work. They work together, they work separately. I just thought it was way beyond coincidence that this happens, and they just so happen to end up with the first pick in the draft.
The other thing is the consumer's becoming dumber by the second. So you could just do stuff like this right in front of them, and people are like,
And they don't care. They're like,
wow,
okay,
that was really cool. That I can't believe. Can you believe that? And it's like, no,
they're gonna have Flag. They're gonna have Anthony Davis next year. They're gonna have Kyrie Irving. Wow,
yeah,
could you imagine?
you shouldn't believe that this happened legitimately because it
Yeah.
didn't.
No.
You know, they're
No, there's
cultivating
nothing
Mars.
organic about this at all.
Yeah, they're cultivating Mars. They did a movie about this before. Remember it was Total Recall, and they controlled the
Yeah.
oxygen as well, and people went there and they couldn't breathe at times. Enjoy Mars. I'm just it's just but you know where we can go? You're already somewhere.
Yeah.
That works. You're already on a planet that works. Yeah, but what if it doesn't? Oh dear God. Oh dear God. You're already on something that works. You went from a championship contender to all of a sudden, like, you know, this doesn't work. It does work.
Yeah, I don't get that. Yeah, you blow up a team that went to the finals. Like I don't
Over
don't
over a Miller Lite.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy. Oh, he just has drinks whenever he wants, or he's out of shape. Stop it. Stop it.
Does he produce on the court? Does he produce better than 99% of the players in the NBA on the court?
He's gained 20 pounds since he's been off the court. Okay. I don't did Houston ditch James Harden in the offseason? No, they stuck with him because he plays into his weight. Some guys do it, some guys don't.
Did the Bulls ditch Jordan when he went out all night and freaking gambled and then came back and dropped 40 something on the Jazz? No.
Brandon Ingram shows up stoned every day.
You know?
Those eyes don't lie. Those eyes don't lie. He shows up absolutely blasted. Does his shoot around. I'm just saying, like, it's not a real thing. It's right? It's not a real thing.
I know. That's what makes it so funny.
Yeah. It's not a real thing. It's make-believe land. And once you guys catch up with our reality, you'll subscribe to our channels and you'll get real information. That's what we're here to give you, right? And
absolutely.
They don't give you the news. They're speculating. Everything's speculation until it's true. And then what happens? Then what happens? We're right the whole time.
On NFL Network, ESPN, that stuff's just spoon-fed. They just regurgitate the same thing over and over and over. Jack and I are trying to give you alternate ways of thinking.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff we agree. We agree with ESPN. We agree with the NFL Network, Fox Sports. Whatever network. But a lot of stuff you have to think outside the box. Think outside of what they are telling you. Use your mind. Watch the games. Watch the press conferences. Listen to the news about the teams. Know about these GMs. Like, he was the head of Nike for I forget how many years. Know these little things, and then you could start creating your own theories and backed by facts, backed by stats, facts, hard evidence.
Maybe it's nothing, but there's definitely an NBA relationship that he had ahead of becoming the general manager for, the Mavericks. That's just that's some of that's true. All right. Let's move. While we're on this little realm, right? And then we'll drive. I'll let you drive the bus for a little bit. I believe wholeheartedly, and this is not necessarily all of my story. Actually, my friend Christian Carlson gave me this theory. He's going to be on our show. He's a He's a Steelers fanatic.
Okay.
And so, the George Pickens, Mike Tomlin relationship wasn't working.
Mm-hmm.
It has gone about as far as it could go. And once upon a time, I don't know, let's say last year at one point, Micah Parsons had made it crystal clear that all he wanted to do, or that something he thought that would be really cool, is if he played for a team inside the state for which he first came, which was Penn State University. So he thought it'd be great to play for the Philadelphia Eagles. That's what he wanted to do. They say he's made that statement in the year before the last year of his contract. I hope you guys are all following. Okay, that's what he said.
Mm-hmm.
Fast forward a little bit, Eagles win the Super Bowl. That is never happening. The brain trust in Pittsburgh knows that. But in the same respect, Pittsburgh is still in that state. And maybe if we offer Dallas something, maybe we get a phone call about Parsons in a little bit. We've already paid it forward to them. We should be the first phone call. By the way, he wants to play for a winning organization, which we are. And we've given you something already. I believe the George Pickens move, and this is not just my theory, this is Christian's theory as well. The George Pickens move to Dallas it's on brand for Dallas. It keeps them on TV. It keeps them interesting. George is half crazy, but you know what? He's catching the ball in between three people. Okay? Jerry World lives. But if Parsons isn't happy and they don't get this deal done, the first conversation is going to go to Pittsburgh, and then we'll see. How do you feel about that?
Oh, I like it. It's what you call a in good faith trade.
Yeah.
Is what you call it. It's like you scratch my back, I scratch yours. There's a lot of that goes on in the NFL. The Niners had that with
That's on brand with Pittsburgh, though. Micah Parsons would be awesome there.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting, but Niners had that with another team. I want to say with Tampa, when Kyle Shanahan first got there, and I forget what the connection was, but it had to do with their general manager or something like that at the time.
Okay.
But there was a connection there, and you scratch ours, we scratch your type of thing. So that does happen in NFL. So that absolutely, I love that. I didn't even really think about that.
Because on the surface, Pittsburgh just lost a great wide receiver.
Yeah.
And so I want to go a little bit further here, though. Let's go a little bit further. George Pickens is in a contract year, right? And if it's the one thing, and I've been preaching this, it's the one thing that I know about criminals is that while they're on probation, they're pretty good guys.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what, they do. They walk the little old lady across the streets without taking her purse. Right, they might find an umbrella for you. They steal it, but they put it back. Right, in the rain. No, I'm saying George Pickens is going to be on his best behavior and try and get paid. Now, the other thing too is Jerry Jones has seen a lot of criminals in his time, and I believe that Dallas is going to use him. Pickens is going to have a monster year. I really believe this, an absolute beast monster year. And everybody at the end of the year is going to go, I can't believe the Cowboys wouldn't pay him, George Pickens. He had a better year than CD Lamb. I'm saying it. It could happen.
Oh,
he had a better year than CD Lamb. Why wouldn't they pay him? Because Jerry knows that once he pays the criminal, oh, baby, we got problems.
Mm-hmm.
We got problems. He's going to be going crazy. He's causing problems. He's going to be in the news. So I say buyer beware, but renting the guy for a year is monster news. How do you feel?
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I still think this was best case scenario for Pickens. I mean, the Cowboys are known for troubled players and working with them and it working out for them. They've done it multiple times. I mean, there's a handful of guys that didn't, like Randy Gregory, Alden Smith, like those guys, a handful. But the majority of these guys that they've taken in, these outcasts, you can say, and not because of talent, because of their off the field issues or in between the ears issues, they've done fairly well with them. They have a pretty good track record. So if there was one place Pickens was going to go that I thought is beneficial for him, I think this is great.
He's still box office. He's still
box absolutely. But I'm one of the guys though that if you couldn't make it work with Tomlin, like Mike Tomlin, who is a player's guy, he's not it's my way or the highway. He might come off like that, but he works with you. He's worked with a lot of these head cases, and it's worked well with them. He's just shipped them off later on. But if you can't work with him, who can you work with?
Well, that's why it's buyer beware.
You know?
Because if I'm renting the maniac and he can't cause any trouble, the only thing he could work, the only thing that this could work good for is for good.
Yeah.
He's going to get himself a contract. I don't know who's going to pay for it. I feel like it's going to be the Carolina Panthers.
It very well could be. It could be another Dante Johnson move,
but
where they pay him a good chunk of money. And
I am telling you, and I'm telling the fantasy world out there, that George Pickens could end up a top 5 fantasy wide receiver this year. I'm not joking.
Oh, absolutely.
You're going to put the
strong running. They have a strong running back again. They have CeeDee Lamb, which is a top 5 wide receiver in the league. Guy catches a lot. They have a very good tight end. Like, yeah, you can't double Pickens like you were able to. And you have somebody that can throw you the ball, for the most part, can throw you the ball.
You're going to put the second best cornerback on George Pickens?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Oh, good God. And Dak Prescott's a great quarterback and an okay athlete.
No, he's an okay athlete and a decent quarterback. I mean, he's not a great quarterback.
He's averaged over 30 touchdowns a year. That's what he averaged.
Yeah, but look at his interceptions. Look at his win ratio. A lot of that stuff comes in garbage time.
He's a 30-10 guy. I mean, he's a 30-10 guy.
He's not a 30-10 guy. He throws way more than 10 interceptions a year.
That's his average.
He throws 4 in a game sometimes.
So, right. And that's what's odd about him. That's what's odd about him.
You know, he's not. He's not a great quarterback.
I think he's not a great athlete. I think he's a great quarterback.
Yeah, I don't think he's a great anything. I think he's a very decent quarterback. He's above average quarterback. He's not an average quarterback. He's slightly above average, but he's not a great quarterback, not by far. If he was a great quarterback, he'd get these wins.
Yeah,
I mean, he couldn't get past Brock Purdy.
Look, I think Kirk Cousins is a great quarterback. I think with what he's had in his career and what he's done with it, I think Kirk Cousins is a great quarterback. That's my measurable.
Decent quarterback. Rodgers was a great quarterback.
Decent to me is like
Tom Brady was a great quarterback.
Decent
those
to me,
are great quarterbacks. Like,
yeah, that's other planet.
Like, you can't put those guys in the same breath as that.
Decent is Fitzpatrick. Ryan Fitzpatrick was decent.
No, Ryan Fitzpatrick was average,
which is decent.
No, decent is slightly above average for me. There's a place in there, like there's decent, there's okay, and then there's great.
You know, I mean, Kirk Cousins is going to go into the Minnesota Hall of Fame because he was part of that Minnesota Miracle play. You know, and then you have, Dak Prescott hasn't won anything. He hasn't won it. Okay, he hasn't won anything yet. He hasn't. But 30 and 10 is usually what he averages, and he's getting.
But no, he doesn't average that. He doesn't average 30 and 10. You keep saying that. He doesn't.
He doesn't average 30 touchdowns and 10 interceptions.
No. I'm going to pull up. Go ahead, talk.
Yeah, find those stats because I'm almost positive he's a 30 and 10 guy. And if he's 35 and 11 guy, I don't feel bad either. Dak Prescott is an upgrade from Mason. Oh, I have a Dak Prescott card here. Look at this. Look at this, Cowboys fans. Look at that. That's a pretty card. It's better looking than my face. Look at that. Dak Prescott right there. You see it, Greg? That's not bad.
Hold on. Very nice.
That's a pretty good looking card. All right. What do you have? The 2023. I'm sorry. You're right. 2023. His stats were 36 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. So he's not a 30 and 10 guy.
It was 23-4, 22-13, 22-8, 30-11, 9-4, 37-10, 23-15, 36-9, 11-8. So I'll give you that he wasn't as bad interception-wise as a lot I thought, but there's a lot of down years where he either got hurt or was really short.
I mean, his touchdown interceptions is 202, and that's 74. That's as a career now.
I have 213 and 82 for his.
That's fine. But okay, so yeah, that counted last season. My point is that he's a 30 and 10 guy. It doesn't have to be perfect. That's what he is in the league. It's just that's what he's going to end up as is a career. He's going to end up a 30-10 guy. Now, Tom Brady was a 35-5 guy. And by the way, it doesn't matter because you could be a 41-4 guy and still not win the MVP, Lamar Jackson. So he's getting a massive upgrade from Mason Rudolph.
Mm-hmm.
And Russell Wilson, let's not pretend like he's, and Justin Fields is getting a running back salary.
Mm-hmm.
My boy, he's going to take advantage.
No, he's way better than all those quarterbacks that you just mentioned.
At this stanza, yes. I mean, Russell Wilson wants
listen, I'll put Russell Wilson right in there with Dak. Russell wasn't the greatest passer.
Yeah,
he was more athletic, that I'll give you. But they won because of the running game and their defense. They didn't win because of Russell. Actually, you could say the opposite. You could say the Super Bowl they lost was because of Russell.
Yeah.
Because they tried forcing the ball and making it about Russell instead of making it about how they won those Super Bowls and how they won those games, defense and Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah. Now, Russell, to me, was more of a 25-10 guy, but he gave you 5.
Listen, I'm not. Yeah, he was good, but I'm trying to make a point that I would say Dak, even though Russell won a Super Bowl, I would put Dak better than Russell throwing the ball.
Yeah, I mean, it's very close. I would put them both in the conversation. Russell's got better.
Dak has an arm.
I'm
not trying to say he doesn't. Dak has an arm. He can push that ball downfield.
It's fine. Russell's got better tools. Those hands are huge. He's got 10.5 mitts. He's got big mitts. I mean, he's
a lot smaller too.
I know. That's why I'm saying Russell's more athletic. But I mean, I feel like we could group them together. Still way better. Dak now way better than Russell last year. Mason Rudolph's hilarious. And I do think that you're going to get a huge. Like I watched the statistics the other day, and it was like wide receiver 2 statistics, right?
Mm-hmm.
And where they wanted them ranked. George Pickens, first of all, not even ranked. And Jalen Waddle was 10. What? I'm very sorry. I know this is way too early, but you usually agree with the kind of area where I'm putting guys.
Yeah.
That to me is insanity.
Yeah.
George Pickens, just 2 years ago, I think he had 73 receptions over 1,400 yards. You're like, no way. Brother, he catches bombs and goes.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You could be George Pickens could have 4 receptions for 180 yards. You're like, how did he even – that's all he does. I mean, you could be dealing with 0 for 3 quarters, and all of a sudden you look at your phone and you're like, 83 yards and a touchdown. That's a pretty good game. 1 catch.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
one catch.
One catch. But, I mean, he does. He's a game changer, and I think he needs to be looked at, and I do think that that's a real interesting point. The criminal is on the leash until he gets a contract.
Mm-hmm.
And then everyone's going to draft him next year based on what he did this year. And that ain't going to be the same George.
No, not going to be the same George. Even if he does stay in Dallas, just by his history alone, you would have to think there'd be a significant drop-off after the big contract. But, who knows? Who knows? It's Dallas. They could work something. They could work their magic. They could get something in his head. Maybe turn a switch that Tomlin couldn't. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just,
yeah,
that's the whole thing. If it wasn't Tomlin, it was some other schmo, but it was Tomlin trying to get him to do a couple things. And like George Pickens would do something, and then we'll get off the book. He would catch the ball. Then he would say something to the cornerback. The cornerback would say something next to him. He'd wait for him to turn his back, and he'd throw the ball at him.
Yeah.
Why?
Like boneheaded stuff.
What did you expect him to say? What did you expect him to say? Like what did you say to him? Hey, today's my birthday? And the guy was like, screw your birthday. And he goes, what'd you say? And he threw the ball. Like, George.
Yeah.
No, you're insane.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about
I mean, in all honesty, they went from one guy like that to another guy like that with Metcalf. I mean, Metcalf who was that? Jimmy Ward. There can
only be one.
Jimmy Ward. I remember he gave a little after a play to Metcalf.
Yeah,
Metcalf turned around, grabbed his face mask, and just yanked him right down.
Yeah.
Like, who does that?
There can only be one. And look it, man.
It's not the Highlander here.
No, no one knows it. No one knows it. But I strongly believe that Tomlin called up the ayahuasca man and goes, "Which one?" He goes, "Give me Metcalf.
Give me Metcalf. I only can have one, but so give me Metcalf.
Give me the guy that if I throw a bad interception, he could run the guy down 80 yards."
Yeah. Oh yeah. That he could. He's done.
Not George's like this with the linebacker that had nothing to do with the play.
Yeah.
Like, give me the guy. I'll take the track athlete. Thank you very much. And I'm not really getting great reception here in Egypt, so I'll talk to you later. So let's shift to your quarterback. And I say your quarterback because he got paid. Everyone's mad about the contract. The floor is yours on Brock Purdy.
All right. For all you guys out there that are mad at my quarterback for getting paid what he did, just remember what he has done. 1 Super Bowl, 2 NFC Championship games, being the last pick in the draft, being thrusted into the lineup. First game against the Dolphins, they were losing. He comes back, he wins. Second game of his career, he goes against a Bucs-led Tom Brady. Oh, Tom Brady's licking his chops. Ends up crushing the Bucs. All right, that's just his first 2 games, kind of a little bit of his accolades. He's been a top 10 passer, top 10 in touchdowns. Every year he's been a starter. And he's got a 5-year, $265 million contract that a lot of people have an issue with. Let me put it in a little perspective for you. All right. Just so we're all on the same page here, me and Jack both think quarterbacks get paid way too much. Way too much. 55 million, 50 million is just so much money compared to your top wide receivers getting 35 mil. Your average wide receiver is getting 30 mil. Like, these quarterbacks are getting 20 to 25 mil more than a wide receiver. Let's not even get into the running back situation. But so on that note, I think we're all on the same page here. We're all on the same thought process here. So when I'm talking about this, I'm talking about what the market is dictating. The market dictates these quarterbacks gets paid such, and such. And it's up to the agent to find out where their quarterback gets paid in that market. All right. So that's what I'm basing this off of. Pure and simple is just market only and what these quarterbacks have done to deserve their money. All right. I gave you a little bit of the accolades, what Brock has done. Now, to kind of break down his contract, he gets paid $53 million a year. That's ranked 7th on yearly average. That ranks right there with Jared Goff. You can't tell me that he doesn't deserve what Jared Goff gets paid. There's not one person out there that could tell me or convince me otherwise. He has done more than Jared Goff in less time than Jared Goff. The couple quarterbacks that get paid less than him, I've heard thrown around, well, he doesn't deserve to get more money than Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson. Listen, I agree with you 100%. But these contracts was done a couple years ago with what the market dictated at that point. So if those contracts was done now, oh, you're damn right those quarterbacks would get paid more than Brock, and deservingly. Like, Lamar Jackson is light years better than Brock Purdy. Hurts is right now better than Purdy. You go back last year, you couldn't tell me that. On their down, or the year before, their down year, everybody was like, oh, Hurts isn't the answer. You guys shouldn't have signed him to that 120 or whatever $1 million contract it was. But then last year, he had a bounce back year, and everybody's like, good job. So guys, I'm with you guys on that. But the guy is a good quarterback. He is a top 10 quarterback. All right, we broke down the yearly average. This is where it gets really interesting, and I told Jack about this. And people don't really think about it, but it's something that I brought up a long time ago. I think even maybe on our first couple episodes on the Every Point podcast is when I talked about quarterbacks, instead of getting paid a yearly salary of a straight up number, make it a portion of the salary cap. Make it, 8% of the salary cap, 9% of the salary cap, never 10% of the salary cap. Because anybody that has ever made 10% of a team's salary cap has never won or gone to a Super Bowl. Oh, I'm sorry, has never won a Super Bowl. Because Burrow takes up 14% of the Bengals salary cap and has gone to a Super Bowl, but not at the time. Not at the time. At the time, he was on a rookie contract. So technically, that's still right.
So I think quarterbacks get paid what the team's worth. This is what I think. So like nobody liked the Patrick Mahomes $400 million contract. Nobody liked that.
Mm-hmm.
But if the Chiefs in 10 years are worth $4 billion, well, 40 million, I mean, you figure out the math, right? He's getting paid a percentage of what the team is worth with him on it. I think that's how these quarterbacks are getting paid. They're getting paid like CEOs, really.
Yeah, no, and that's why it's and listen, they have the ball in their hand every offensive play. So, I mean, they should get a slightly higher contract than other positions. I just want to get back to the percentage real quick.
Okay.
All right. So Burrow was like at 14% when he signed his new contract. They haven't even sniffed the playoffs since. All right. Brock Purdy will be making 14th. So he'll be making 8.7% of the salary cap for the next 2 years.
Okay.
After that, it jumps up to 9.2%, but it never comes close to that 10%.
So you think that's by design?
Exactly.
Okay.
And if you want to go by as far as ranking where the quarterbacks take up the percentage of the salary cap, he's at 14th.
Yeah.
So there's 32 teams in the league. Can you guys honestly say that there is 14 better quarterbacks than Brock Purdy?
Probably not.
I'll give you 8. I'll give you 8, not 14.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, I'm not even gonna. I wouldn't even. I'd do Lamar Jackson.
Listen, I'm just trying to be as fair as possible. I will give you 8. I'll give you 8 right off the bat, and so about those 8.
And by better quarterback, it doesn't necessarily mean more talented either. Like, I'm the kind of guy that doesn't believe that Justin Herbert's better than Brock Purdy. Way more talent.
Way more talented.
Okay, where's he been? Nowhere. You know, you have to still at least get to the dance, right? You
at least have to do your job.
Can't pretend like Detroit didn't blow a lead, but Brock Purdy was a part of the comeback.
Those rushing yards, those rushing for first downs, they count towards you. They count towards your greatness.
So, Justin Herbert, don't even get me started with Trevor Lawrence.
Mm-hmm. Trevor Lawrence is top 4. I think it was 4th. He was 4th. Paid quarterback in the league. So you're telling me he deserves $54 million a year?
Right.
$55 million a year?
And the only other thing that you could have done, maybe they did reach out. I don't know. But you could have reached out to Atlanta and seen what the deal was with Kirk Cousins since he's not going to start this year. They have a history. If you wanted to, you could have done that.
You could have, but why would you go with somebody that is that old, who really only has maybe legitimately another 2 years in the league, compared to somebody that has taken you to a Super Bowl, taken you to 2 NFC championships? The players love him around him. You already know he can get the job done.
I think Kyle would have done it just because he doesn't like the way Kirk was treated in Atlanta. That's why I think he would have made the phone call and probably did.
And another reason why I don't think he would have done it is for the fact that Brock is kind of what he wanted in Kirk Cousins. He wanted a quarterback he could groom throughout his whole career. And he's finally has that. Nobody tainted Brock with nothing. Nothing since college. Everything that has been put in Brock's head has been through Kyle. So Kyle is molding this guy, forming him to be the guy that he wants him to be. We talked about this during the football season about certain quarterbacks and certain coaches. Some coaches just want you to run their damn play. Just run our freaking play. I don't want you back there scrambling around 20 yards and running 50 yards down the field. I want you to run my damn play.
Yeah, and I mean that that's kind of part that happens with super athletic players. After a while, you're just like, yeah, well, why don't you just run my play? It's like, because your play doesn't take advantage of what I am.
Yeah, but I'm just saying though, like, but those quarterbacks don't win though.
Yeah.
You know, like you
Yeah.
need a mixture of both.
You do
You
a
need
little
a
bit,
nice
yeah.
combination of both. A guy that can do those things when your play breaks down. When
Yeah.
your play falls apart, he has that little extra to get you that couple yards. You know, some has more than others. Like Lamar Jackson, he has it in spades.
Yeah.
You know, in spades. Purdy has just a little bit of that, but it's enough for him to make a comeback like they did against Detroit.
All right, we'll
So
see how
he's proved it.
The guys that get paid don't produce the year after they get paid, though. That's the only other. That is the one thing
We'll
with
see.
every one of
I
the
mean,
guys that get paid. The
I thought,
next year is the down year,
mhm.
and then the next year is the up year. But the
Well,
first year after you get paid is the
okay,
down year.
if that's true, then what the 49ers did this year in the offseason was the right move by shedding cap space, by shedding these players, getting rid of your Debo Samuels and these other players, these high-priced players. Shed these. If this is going to be a down year for Brock Purdy, all right, then it's a down year. Let's shed the cap. Let's bring some people in the following year when we know everything's going to be better.
Well, that's what I love about this team this year. I really believe that as I was banging the drum for George Pickens, I think Ricky Purcell is going to go off.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to be another. He could be even than one. I think he could be more athletic than Ayuk. I think he could do other things than Ayuk can do. I know we love Ayuk, but Purcell.
They're talking about Ayuk not coming back to week 10.
Purcell kind of believes, yeah, that's right. And Purdy kind of believes in Purcell.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if you guys are looking for, again, late round steals, I'm going to have a whole thing up on them. Late round steals, Ricky Purcell is going to be one of them, a guy that you don't even forget about. And you're going to try to get to him by week 4 waivers. And all of a sudden you're sitting there going, I thought Cooper Kupp was still good. Well, he's not anymore.
I'll give you guys a little insight into the Niners news because I'm on top of everything. I know everything pretty much up to date. Not that I have a guy inside, but I might have a guy inside. I'm not saying. But Kittle been raving about Jacob Cowling, wide receiver, second year, out of Arizona or Arizona State, I forget. But speedster guy came in the league 180 pounds. Kittle said the guy looks phenomenal. Guy looks like a beast right now. I guess he put on like 15 pounds. Still running crisper routes, catching everything, he said. So guy to watch out for. Not saying he's going to dethrone Purcell because that's the guy. He was the first round pick for a reason. But Cowling might be that sneaky slot in there that might get you when somebody's on a bye, get you those 15 points that you need to win.
Yeah. Be careful of the sneaky slots.
Oh yeah, those slot guys. You get two games out of the year from them where they just go off, and you're like, oh, I should have drafted him.
And the guy that I probably won't draft this year, and everybody loves that, but it's like he's so hard to start and so hard not to start, is Smith-Njigba. That's right, I said the word. But Smith-Njigba, just sometimes he shows up, and sometimes he's not very good at all. And I don't know whether he's going to be the number one Seattle. I know Sam Darnold's there, so I don't trust that. And then you got Cooper Kupp that's there, and we'll see what kind of relationship gets developed between them. I don't want anything in Seattle, to be quite honest. It rains too much there, and they don't have enough available, likable players for me. That'll probably be a team I stay very far away.
The only player I remotely would draft on that team, and it would be very, very late, would be Walker.
Yeah.
That's it.
Probably earlier than late, but fifth round.
I would take him later just for the fact that I just I liked him last year, but then there's a lot of other running backs that are coming into the league that are very enticing this year.
Yeah,
that are in the right systems. In the right systems. That's the thing is you put the right running back coming in or going to a different team that fits them. Those are the guys you have to watch out for.
Yeah.
The guys that were kind of average or just above average, and they go to a new team that fits them. Watch out.
There's a couple Ray Davises out there this year, and Ray Davis was my guy last year. Ray Davis was an absolute monster up in Buffalo. He helped, and you know what? keep that name in your, because if James Cook decides after the season to go hunting for a different home, and I'm not saying he's going to, but
They're
if he
actually
does,
talking about possible trade before
if
that even happens.
okay,
That came up.
all right,
That came up last week.
and Buffalo's willing to do it because of Davis. I'm telling you, he's the guy up there.
Mm-hmm.
He'll give you 220 carries. He'll give you 9 touchdowns. He can receive the ball. Played at 3 different colleges. Gave you 1,000 yards per season. Like, new situations do not bother him whatsoever. So there's a couple different.
And it kind of sucks because Cooks went in there, as Cook's, younger brother, and and kind of made his way to the team. He was drafted, but he wasn't used highly. Couple years in a fantasy, you're like, oh, he might have a breakout year. And then finally last year, it just seemed like he found his groove. He was, Josh Allen, needs to escape or needs that 5 yards, that little run and dump off to Cook up the sideline, like it just seemed like he finally found his niche in that offense. And it would suck to see them switch it up and move on from him, or him move on from the Bills. Because I just think it's a nice pairing, those two.
It is.
Because he doesn't need to be your starter. He doesn't need to be on the field all the time. With him and David, that would be perfect.
Yeah, it's more of a thunder and lightning kind of deal.
Yeah.
And hopefully he stays there. But I mean, I'm selfishly, I'm hoping Ray Davis gets some more run.
Who was that? Brandon Jacobs. That's who that
It was Brandon Jacobs and Tiki Barber.
Yep. Played for the Niners for a little bit, actually, too.
We are in baseball season currently, though.
Yes, we are. And yes, my fantasy team is reflecting that right now. I scrapped back to 500 finally, and I'm just getting blown out this week.
All right. Well, you got a whole new month ahead of you.
Got a whole new pitching staff, except for 2 players, and Okuda, he's back.
Yeah,
he didn't do too much last night, but the day before, his first at bat, home run.
Yeah. So and Acuna looks very good. They're thinking right now that Acuna could have a great year, and it's a second. There's a lot of Major League Baseball players who are retired. They're talking about the second rehab is so important. The first rehab, you hate it because you're a player. You've never been injured before. The second time you have to go to rehab for a knee or whatever issue you have the blueprint. You know what to do. You know the timeline. You know where you're going to be. It's not meeting a new trainer. It's saying hi to a guy you haven't seen in 2 years and 3 years and stuff like that. It's already in the cards, right? That's part of the good of the rehab. They think that Acuna is going to come back better than he did the first time because he's had all those tools to work with before. But there's things happening with every team now. And what's starting to happen is this is the evaluation process where you got to be very careful. You think you know everything about a baseball team right now. You know nothing. There's an evaluation process now that's going on. The Oakland Athletics just sent down J.J. Bleday. By the way, J.J. Bleday 2 years ago was drafted 6th in the first round. Yeah, they sent him down. Not having the greatest month. So they sent him down and 2 other guys. Other guys are being sent down as well. Other guys are being brought up. That's how this whole little month is going. And you're like, wow, that's terrible that they're sending guys down. Well, they're sending those guys down so that they can rebuild their confidence. So that when they need them at the end of July and for their playoff runs, they can bring them back up. That's this little ebb and flow that's going on. All the reports are that guys are being sent down. This guy's being sent down. He's being designated AA. He's being designated AAA. And you're like, oh, but they're paying these guys so much money. They are. But they're also trying to set themselves up for mid-July to August. Let's see. It's only May 25th.
Yeah.
This fluff month means nothing. Because we're trying to manage our ball clubs. By the way, he's got a bad elbow. Well, do you want him to be pitching? Yeah, but not against guys that are going to kill him. Let's send him down to AA. He knows the town. His wife likes some of the stores down there anyway. Just give him 3 weeks or give him a 30-day IL stint. A lot of those things are happening now. I'm sure you're starting to notice yourself.
Yeah. So, I've had to drop some players I didn't want to really drop because you only have 3 spots on the IL, you
got to rotate. Gotta move. For instance, this happened the other night. Lawrence Butler. Lawrence Butler is on Los Angeles. He's plays for the Athletics. That's a fun story too. They were the Oakland Athletics, remember? And we know that they're in transition, moving to Vegas. They got a home in Sacramento right now. That's where they're playing, right?
Oh, okay.
But here's what's great about it. They were having a good beginning of the year. They brought up this guy, last name is Kurtz. Guy's batting 470 or something in minors. I mean, he crushed the ball. They moved him over to first base. They moved their first baseman out into left of field. Didn't really like it. He's starting to get a hang of it. But while they moved him out to left field, now they're starting to move him throughout the lineup. It's messed with the team chemistry a little bit, but they're trying to do it to see if they can get more out of him in different spots if they need to down the line.
Mm-hmm.
Oakland athletic gear has been selling wildly because they were good. They're on a 13-game skid right now, which doesn't mean a ton if you're doing okay. 13-game losing streak. But while they were winning, and when they played the New York Yankees a couple weeks ago, they changed the team name, MLB did, to the Athletics on the marquee. As to give Oakland no credit and no money for a winning team because you didn't want to have them.
Yeah.
You didn't want to have them. You didn't want to pay for them. You didn't want anything to do with them. So they are no longer the Oakland Athletics even for this year. They are the Athletics until they get moved to Las Vegas. Moving on to last night, Lawrence Butler was taken out of the lineup. He's on a 7-game hit streak. 8-game maybe. He's hitting, at least once a game. He's having a great year. They paid him a lot of money. They didn't even play him yesterday until the 7th inning. The 7th inning, they put him in the game. Lawrence, get up here. I mean, the reliever just comes in for Philadelphia. This guy hasn't seen a pitch all game. This is real talent, by the way. This guy has not seen a pitch all day. The reliever comes in. This reliever's throwing 98s. Fire right down. Fire. Greg, he's throwing 98 with sliders behind them. Throwing fire. I haven't seen a pitch all game. I have from the bench. Now you put me up there. He puts a double in right field that almost gets over the wall. I went, and that's talent. That's talent. You haven't seen a pitch all game. You warmed me up against the guy who hasn't thrown a pitch. The reliever's throwing 98 fires. Lawrence Butler hits a double, and he drove in a run. And I was like, wow, that's fantastic. You can move that guy anywhere. But that's the season for which we're in baseball right now. You move guys around, and you try to see how resilient and reliable they are. Because when we move into the later months, people are going to try and target you. What you're good at, what you're bad at, what you're okay with. Oh, were you, in the 5th spot, you weren't so great against a left-hander, but in the 7th spot, for whatever reason, you were so great. And we don't want to give any tape on you for the next month. That stuff's all very interesting. And that starting if you're not hitting well against left-handers and you're a left-hander, we'll just take you out of the lineup. And we'll take you out of the lineup for a couple days, and then we'll put you back in against the left-hander, see if you did some more work in the batting cages and all that other stuff, because you bat 111, and they got a lefty in today, and you're batting 111 against the lefty. I mean, you're not going to be very much help to us if we put a couple guys on base, especially if you're batting 4th or 6th. Is it more valuable for you to keep your batting spot or you to sit down for a day and come back and get in that same spot? There's a lot of stuff here. It's a lot of stuff to unpack with baseball. And right now, we're just trying to move certain guys up to see if they're valuable in better spots, or can they adapt, or can they move? That's the new season we're moving into.
What's that?
That's the new baseball season that we're moving into. We've come out and we've seen what our team is. And now what we're going to do is we're going to morph out of that team and see if we can find a player that can help us here. Or maybe this guy is great on the bags, so we'll make him part of the roster, but he's only going to come off the bench if this guy gets on base. A lot of that stuff is starting to be, of course, you got your Judges, your Harpers, your De La Cruz, your Otanis that drive the sport. But all these little integral pieces, that could just hit a single when you need one.
They're role players. They're role players, just like the NFL, the NBA. You need those role players. You can't win with just your guys that play every day. You
No,
know,
you
you're
can't.
gonna have these. You're gonna have these rotational guys that you're gonna count on.
Yeah. I mean, you absolutely have to lean on them, and you're going to need them. So that's as we head to June, from June to July, it's going to be piecing together a whole different team.
Mm-hmm.
And then, mid-July, we're going to see what we're really going to go with. And by the way, you're going to lose pitchers every day now. 15 days, 30 days, 15 days, 30 days, because that's just where you're going to be at. Certain guys are going to be designated, and they don't want to burn them out because they started well, and blah, blah. That's how it's going to be right now. But fantasy baseball is fun. I have a really high scoring team that people like scoring a lot of points against as well.
Mm-hmm.
We have a few new members in our fantasy football league.
Ooh, do we now?
Yes.
Which one?
Our home league. Our home league.
Oh, the original, the OG league?
The OG
really? Who
league.
dropped out?
The OG league.
Are we adding? Are we adding, or is people dropping out?
We're dropping out. Kind of. So we're gonna lose Kurt. He didn't really, he thought it was fun, but he likes watching the game over playing the whole fantasy thing.
Okay.
And Chris is gonna walk away as well.
Okay.
So, but we're picking up my buddy Christian. He's gonna be in our league, and he'll be on our shows. And we're gonna pick up my other buddy Stratton.
Okay.
And he's in our baseball league, actually.
Okay. Nice.
He's in our baseball league, and he's enjoying the baseball league. So he said, "Yeah, put me in our fantasy football league." So, couple new additions, couple subtractions.
What about our keeper league? How's that looking? It looks like we're keeping everybody, or we have people leaving.
I think we're going to keep everybody. Hopefully, they all stay on board. Hopefully, we do all the right things. That league is a tough league because it's players and people for which you really don't know. And so that one.
No, I get it. Yeah, I get it. It's that's just a really fun league. It really is. For anybody that's looking to get into a keeper league, guys, you contact Jack or I. You need to get in this league. It's high scoring. I mean, extremely high scoring.
It is extremely high scoring.
It is just. I have so much. It's a keeper league, so like you don't want to drop a lot of people. There's not a lot of movement, but right now we only have 10 people, so like there's studs everywhere, even not on teams. So it's a lot of fun right now. Ultimately, we would like to get it up to 12.
There's guys on the waiver wire that are outscoring your best wide receiver and your best running. That's insane. Do I drop Bucky Irving or Kyron Williams?
And it is a keeper league, so like there's a different aspect to it. There's a different way to go about drafting.
Oh yeah. You want to draft around your guys. Speaking of, how about this one, Greg? You haven't seen this one. This is a great card for Memorial Day weekend. Look at this.
Ooh, hold it up a little bit higher. You're there we go.
Kyron Williams. It's
National Pride.
Very Pride nice. Panini card. Look how great that is. That just
very
looks
nice.
Great. Behind
since we're on this, why don't you tell our audience here what you're thinking about doing as far as making some videos, pulling these cards, stuff like that?
Oh yeah, so I'm gonna start just ripping cards. Fantasy Farm Sports has an account on Whatnot, and I'll go to stores and I'll pick up certain brands. I just got this. Actually, I went and I saw it behind the cash register. They had a couple, card brands. These I forget what they're called. Mosaics. These are Panini Mosaics. They are top of the line. And I ripped this James Daniels rookie card the other day, notoriety rookie card. Look at that. That looks awesome. So I'm ripping cards like that. I got this Jamar Chase Elite, right? I got stuff like that, and I just got a couple greenies. Hey Greg, I do have a Ricky Pershall greenie.
Ooh.
Yeah, Ricky Pershall greenie. It's a rookie card, by the way. I got a Sam Laporta greenie, not rookie, but we're just gonna be doing card rips. I'm gonna do card rips over the summer. They'll be on our channel, Fantasy Farm Sports. All the cards, by the way, are for sale. All the cards are for sale. Really fun stuff here. I got a Chris Olave. I got a lot of good cards here. I got I got Tua's younger brother. Look at this. Auto. Look at that. An autographed Talia Tagovailoa out of Maryland, I believe. Yeah, that's a rookie auto. I got some other cool stuff. I got Spencer Rattler. Will he be the starter? Rookie card. I don't know. Xavier Worthy. What else do I have here? Xavier Worthy rookie card. So we got some fun stuff on the horizon. I'll show you guys a card for which is no longer available. But this is a Terrell Owens Hall of Fame card. Greg.
That is mine now.
That is Greg's. That is Greg's, and he bought that with the Joe Montana Chrome. So that'll look really cool next to each other. And it'll be as a man cave. So you'll see this next, right? You'll see. I can't even do it. I wish I could. You'll see this card right behind him on the screen over there. That'd be cool. So that's the stuff we're doing. We're gonna be doing. We do live rips if you guys want to pay to get involved in those as well. But I think they're really fun. And
and Jack, he'll give you some tips and stuff to look out for, and stuff that when he goes shopping for cards, stuff that he does.
I saw this I saw this term the other day. Watch out for this term because I didn't like it. I thought it was dishonest. Out on the outside of a packaging and a couple of the other packagings, right? You pay like $30-$40, right? And it'll say look for. Say look for an autographed card inside. Doesn't say there's going to be an autograph card inside. Look for the autograph card inside and look for this type of card and check out. And they all mean maybes. None of them are guarantees. You're going to see that the word autograph is on there. And you're going to go, hey, look, there's going to be an autograph on here. You take it home. There's no autograph. Your job was to look for it. They never put it in the packaging. All the packaging's the same. If you can get packs that have guaranteed, sometimes they'll do 4 autographs in a pack. If they do 4 autographs in a pack and you got to pay, you got to pay $100. Pay it. You're guaranteed the 4.
You're the 4. Yeah.
Otherwise, you're paying $45 or $30 over here, and you might not get anything. That's my advice.
Could be a bunch of throwaway cards.
Yeah, it's crickets. It's crickets. Greg, you got anything else?
No, that's it. That's it. I think we touched base on everything we wanted to touch on for the sporting news that was going on. As always, check out Fantasy Farm Sports. Check out over on YouTube, Fantasy Farm Sports. Make sure you subscribe over there. Jump over OldGamerGK. Over there, we got gaming stuff. We got sports stuff. So we try to touch bases on everything. And when I'm gaming, guys, I talk about everything from movies to sports to jokes to my buddy Nick and I, we have a good rapport. Our other buddy Clamps comes on. Well, all 3 of us, we have some pretty funny conversations that are borderline wrong. So come check us out.
What do you want? Are you on Twitch or what do you want?
Twitch and YouTube. Twitch and YouTube both. We're on both. We're on multiple platforms.
Xbox or PlayStation? These are great questions.
Xbox. I'm an Xbox guy. I haven't been a PlayStation guy since PlayStation 2.
They were awesome, the thin ones.
Yeah.
All right, maybe I'll get an Xbox and come on and hang out and play with you guys.
Absolutely. You could be our 4th.
Oh, all right. All right, that'd be fun. Because
absolutely. Like I said, you throw your humor in there too. We're golden.
They have those smaller mini Xboxes now for like whatever. Maybe I can go to a store and get a refurbished one and just kind of place it here on my desk and jam with you guys.
Absolutely. But like I said, we have some great stuff going on over there, and I appreciate every single person that stops over there, subscribes, every single person that stops over on our podcast, on our gaming videos, people that stops over at Jack's. Don't forget, he's over on Facebook too. So he does a lot of Facebook videos.
Yeah, trying to get to 140 here.
That's
what we're doing. We're trying to get to 140. We're at 138 now. We'll start running some promos because we're headed towards fantasy season, and that's where all of our money goes.
Oh, absolutely. But yeah, I don't really have anything else except for, as always, everybody be excellent.
Be excellent to each other, guys. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you next Sunday.